ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ ज्वालामालिनी देवी नमः.
Namaste everyone! Today we are going to talk about Chaturdashi Tithi, or 14th lunar day in Vedic astrology. And 14th lunar day is governed by planet Venus, element water, guna sattva, but surprisingly the goddess presiding over this lunar day is called Jwalamalini, garlanded with flames, a very fiery goddess, very intense goddess, much more intense than any other of them in fact. Because you see, all other goddesses, they are just sitting peacefully, and usually blessing their devotees. But Goddess Jwalamalini, she's the only one who's actually standing, and she shows, this impatience of Divine Mother in the form of the moon to either unite with Shiva on the new moon day, because it's almost the last day, right? Or either the impatience to finally reach the fullness, realize the fullness of her potential. So this passionate, longing, devotional, fiery nature of Venus is at its highest on this exact lunar day. And Pratipatiti also, if you look at the sky, right? So if you look at the sky and see the moon on Chaturdashi Tithi, so for example Shukla Chaturdashi and Krishna Pratipat, it looks the same. Similarly, Krishna Chaturdashi and Shukla Pratipat, again, it looks the same. And due to that, you will notice that Pratipat Tithi and Chaturdashi Tithi, they will have kind of similar qualities, okay? And it's actually applicable to all other Tithis. So every Tithi has its complementary Tithi, the Tithi which kind of reflects its qualities. But you will see it now when we are going to talk in detail about the qualities of Chaturdashi Tithi and Chaturdashi natives and how this intense fiery influence of goddess, who is literally called garlanded with flames, manifest. So because Goddess Jwalamalini means garlanded with flames and she's such an intense goddess, also people born on Chaturdashi Tithi, they love intense experiences. Actually, the indulgent nature of Venus can be very visible on this Tithi, so they love lots of very intense experiences in life. In fact, it's very surprising, but you can see so many Formula 1 drivers with Chaturdashi Tithi, right? Unfortunately, it can also go a little bit sideways sometimes, so you can really see sometimes also people addicted to pleasures, addicted to sex, or just having addictions in life, right? Because Goddess Jwalamalini here, she's very, very intense form of the Divine Mother. And also people who are born on this lunar day, they kind of reflect her qualities. They themselves have like a very intense presence. Like when they enter the room, you notice that they are there. And they actually, similarly like Pratipat Tithi, they kind of seek this attention sometimes too. So Chaturdashi natives, very similarly like Pratipat natives, they really actually love attention, So these are the sort of people that kind of really value this personal contact with you, and they really seek your attention, So for example, you can see people who are like, if they write you a message and you don't answer, or if they are calling you and you don't answer, then these people actually will send you 20 more messages meanwhile, or call you 20 more times. So they really really need this attention, but like one of their most important life lessons is that the world doesn't just revolves around them. They need to start also respecting other people's borders a little bit more, other people's limitations and other people's time, because sometimes they just don't get it. They just don't get how somebody doesn't have time for me, how somebody doesn't have time for my emotions or problems or anything else. But they just really need to let go of that a little bit and always just step back, look at the situation from the distance and try to control, this intensity within yourself. So Chaturdashi Tithi, you can see it's kind of unusual, Rikta Tithi. It still emotionally can be kind of disturbing, but in a different way. It's disturbing in a way that there is too much fire, too much passion. And sometimes these people kind of just don't understand the borders of other people, and they can actually break also the boundaries of other people, or like even some sort of social boundaries in fact. So, for example, you can see, and this really shocked me when I was doing research on that, but if you look at the most prominent figures during French Revolution, all of them were Chaturdashi Tithi natives almost, you know, because of this fire, this passion, this soul of revolutionists, you know, because Venus here and the Moon here, they want to revolutionize things. They want to actually do something differently. And they have lots of this inner fire and passion and lots of this energy of bringing attention to me, to myself. And this is so funny that we are recording now this video about Chaturdashi Tithi because we have so many mosquitoes around. This is why camera is also dancing a little bit. And the mosquitoes are really very badly trying to get our attention. But this is really how it is, you know. And this is also why sometimes Chaturdashi Tithi even can become slightly violent or even cruel. So because of this inner fire and because of planet Venus, Chaturdashi natives are also very passionate, and they can be actually very devotional. So for example, path of bhakti, path of devotion can be great for them. But what is actually very interesting with Chaturdashi Tithi is that sometimes, you know, there's this inner conflict within them between dedicating themselves fully, like full-heartedly to something, and this little fear of commitment. You will see so many people with Chaturdashi Tithi which have problem with some sort of commitment, who have problem with, how to say, limiting their own freedom, limiting their own independence. So sometimes they are just like, you know, I mean, imagine the Moon on 14th lunar day, he's just before to reach fullness or just about to reach union with Shiva. So literally the Moon just stopped there. The goddess is about to make this final step, but she's still thinking, okay, whether I want this final step or not. And when Chaturdashi Tithi is healthy, they won't have problem with that. Once they really decide on something, they will go full-heartedly into that. But when there is, you know, some affliction to the Tithi, specifically to the Venus, they will have problems with commitment. They will be just like, I don't know if I want to marry this person. I don't know if I want to dedicate myself fully to this path. I don't know if I want to do this or that. So there is this sort of, you know, doubt coming. And it's very important for them in this lifetime to simply try and overcome this. Also, Chaturdashi natives have a tremendous, you know, capacity to sacrifice things, to sacrifice themselves for some higher cause, very often to actually sacrifice themselves for art, also, you know. And I deeply admire now my husband, Govindadas, who is carrying this camera for me because mosquitoes are eating him so badly, you know. But this is actually the power from Venus, you know, the power to really endure the suffering for the purpose of beauty. And again, you know, if this quality goes sideways a little bit, then sometimes, you know, they may either, you know, self-sacrifice themselves too much, like also attract, how to say, some sort of relationships which are kind of codependent too much, let's put it like that. Or they may also sacrifice others, in fact, too, if this Tithi is not healthy in any way. So again, self-sacrifice is their beautiful quality, but also if it gets too much, too extreme, it can be the source of their problems too. The divine quality associated with Chaturdashi natives, with Chaturdashi Tithi, is Satyavan, being truthful, the quality of truthfulness. And actually Chaturdashi natives, you know, really love the truth. They value the truth, you know, sincerity when things are transparent. And really, you know, again, please don't try to lie to Chaturdashi natives because they can become very angry when they realize that somebody lied to them. And, you know, even aggressive, in fact, or very nervous, you know. So please never lie to Chaturdashi native. So because Chaturdashi Tithi is governed by Venus, and because it's governed also by element water, which is very feminine, and it's so beautiful, you know, because when we started to record this video, it started to rain now, so the water element came also to join us here. But what is really fascinating, you know, about Chaturdashi natives, because lots of this feminine energy present, you will see so many feminists, actually. People for whom women's rights are very important. Doesn't matter if they are men or, you know, or a woman, but they simply, specifically if the Tithi, the Chaturdashi Tithi is healthy, they very much respect the divine feminine, you know, the goddess, and they are, you know, really connected with these qualities of a woman. But again, sometimes, you know, you see these feminists which are trying too badly to be like a man, or too badly to see everything as equal. Because let's be honest, I mean, women are different than men. And for them to try to become exactly the same like men, sometimes it will just not work. It might work for some of them, but it will not work for everybody. So you can see also a little bit of this extreme quality sometimes. So namaste again. So what had happened just now is, as you can see, we have huge storm, lots of rain, and it's actually so unbelievable, you know, to see how nature reacts to these phases of the moon. Because today we are having Chaturdashi Tithi, and again Chaturdashi Tithi is governed by water, but also according to many scriptures is also governed by Rudra, you know, fierce form of Lord Shiva, god of storms. And you see what happened, right? We are having storm here, like a proper one. So it's really interesting to see how the entire nature is receptive to the lunar phases, all phases of the moon. So this is also why Chaturdashi Tithi, if you go like to any scripture, you will many times see that they are saying like it's so bad Tithi, you know. And again, please don't take it like it's bad or inauspicious, you know. It's just very transformative. And I definitely can say, even from my own experience, that we had the biggest problems with recording this exact Tithi, Chaturdashi Tithi. So yes, it is very transformative, but it doesn't need to mean that it's bad, you know. It's true, Chaturdashi natives, they go through many transformations in life before they actually find themselves or find their true path. Because Goddess Jwalamalini, you know, she's garlanded with flames, and it's actually said that she is the goddess who burns down all the karma. Okay, so for you to burn down all the karma, you need to go through many transformative experiences in life. And this is why whenever you go, you know, to any scriptures, you know, and whenever you see like, oh, this Tithi is good, this Tithi is bad, don't take it, you know, like literally. Because simply what these sages meant, you know, literally whenever they were giving a description of something, let's say inauspicious, they were always taking the worst scenario possible. And when they were talking about some auspicious combination, they were always taking the best scenario possible, okay? And why they were doing that? Because they want to show you, you know, what is the worst that can happen, what is the best that can happen. And now it's your task as astrologer to look at the chart, see the Tithi Lord, see the moon, see all the other planets, aspects and rashis, and simply try to find out what will really happen, what will be the real result, how all these other placements are alternating the flavor of the Tithi. So this is why even when you are watching now these recordings of these videos about the Tithis, please, you know, just don't take it for granted. These are some things, some emotional tendencies that are present within those natives, that's true, but how they will really manifest, it really depends on the entire chart and all other planetary placements. And yes, if you hear, you know, a little bit weird voice of myself on this recording, it's because just to run away from rain, we came to a pavilion of echo, so it's quite funny. So exactly due to this fiery quality of Chaturdashi Tithi, Chaturdashi natives can be actually very impulsive sometimes too. You know, like a lightning, okay? It just strikes the earth, like straight away, immediately. So also when they are angry, they can, you know, just attack you out of sudden, let's put it like that. But also when they are happy, you know, they are getting excited very easily. But again, one thing that they need to kind of try to control within themselves is that due to their excitement, that they don't expect too much. Because when they start to expect too much, they will get very easily disappointed too. So it's like the fire which just lights up quickly but can burn down quickly too. So they can be also very impatient sometimes. They might actually lack patience for you to answer their message, lack patience, you know, to do some long-term task too. And this is why, you know, meditation for these natives is like absolute must. It's not option for them, it's something they must do. Even the goddess here, Goddess Jwalamalini, she's actually holding a tortoise in one of her hands, okay? And what tortoise is symbolizing? Tortoise symbolizes the energy of Saturn, Kurma avatar, okay? And Saturn is stability. So one of the most important things they need to do in life is to find this stability, find this grounding, to ground this intensity of emotions during this Rikta Tithi and the intensity of fire and passion. So because Chaturdashi natives go through so many transformations in life, and very often like really deep transformations of their entire personality or their relationships, or even, you know, in spiritual sense, they really go through this intense purification process. They actually, above all, they actually really look for the stability in life. They look for having some sort of control, you know, in their life. Because honestly, they usually don't have any. And this is why they really look for that. And due to that, again, if this quality gets too exaggerated, too extreme in them, they might try too badly to control things, you know, in life. They might try to control their partner or their job too much. And this is really not the point, right? And really, you know, in case of Chaturdashi natives, if you're Chaturdashi native yourself, my advice to you would be, you know, just surrender. Surrender to the flow of life, surrender to the divine, or surrender to, if you don't believe in God, surrender to your soul, your consciousness, whatever you're believing in. But really just surrender, and you will see that things will start to go more smoothly in your life. Like Venus, like water, you know. It will start, you will really start to experience this flow once you just surrender. Because control and trying to control things might simply not work for you in this lifetime. Chaturdashi natives also, above all, they value their freedom, their independence. We actually don't often see Venus like that, but Venus is really one of the most independent planets. I mean, even if you look, you know, Venus is the only planet that goes in another motion, right? In another direction that all other planets go. So their independence and their freedom is very important for them. And this is also why sometimes they might have problem, you know, with commitment. Problem with letting go of their own freedom for the sake of commitment or devotion. So for Chaturdashi natives, very often their life becomes kind of, you know, journey of self-discovery. Very often, like in the beginning of life, they're not like 100% sure who they are or what they want in life. So for example, if you have a child who is Chaturdashi native, really give your child time to figure out what he or she wants in life. Because they might seriously need this time, you know. Because again, imagine it's like just almost the last lunar day. So the moon is about to become full or about to become new moon, okay? But it's still, you know, it's like this last step which is the hardest to take. And which is why you will often see that Chaturdashi natives, they often find who they are in life by trying many different things. And then realizing, okay, I am not this, okay, I am not that, okay, I am also not this, and then they find out, okay, this is who I am. So through negation, through understanding what they are not, they actually realize what they are and what is their life path too. So that was my short analysis of Chaturdashi Tithi, or 14th lunar day. Finally we managed to finish this video. As I told you, you know, we had many adventures happening on the way. And if you would like to know more about this Tithi or any other lunar day, you can purchase my ebook, Journey with the Moon. You can also join me on my Patreon community, where we are meeting 2 times a month on webinars and learning much more about Tithis and all other fascinating topics in Vedic astrology. And by that you also help me, you know, to keep doing these videos. And you can also join me on 4-week-long intense course just on the Tithis, or sacred lunar phases, which I am going to have soon with Cosmic Insights. You have all the links below. Thank you so much for your attention. Namaste.